The Washington Commanders failed last year. After a tremendous 2024 season where they reached the NFC Championship game, everything fell apart. Now I understand Jaden Daniels had some injury issues last year, but this team was constructed so poorly in 2025, it's not even funny. But the big question is, have they fixed those errors? Are they entering the 2026 season with renewed hope? Jaden Daniels is healthy. Can they get back to the playoffs? Or is it last year on repeat, and Dan Quinn and Adam Peters aren't cut out to run this team further and propel Jaden Daniels to the stardom he deserves? Well, today I'm going to preview the 2026 Washington Commanders season and talk about that. The Washington Commanders made some moves in free agency, and a couple I do like, and others I don't really care for all too much. Odafe Oweh. I like Odafe Oweh as a player, but I don't like the contract he was given out. To me, he's not worth $24 million a year. He's not worth the grand total of $96 million, but it's really just $68 million as that's what the guaranteed money is. I think Odafe Oweh is a great potential player, and we're always looking at him with the if factor that if this speed rush really comes into effect. And to be fair, he looked really good for the Chargers last year after getting traded there. But we're kind of banking on him to reach the potential, and he's 28 years old now. Like, we're not going to get this ultimate player that's going to wreck the shop like we thought his rookie year. He is what he is, and that's a fine, good player. But it's not a $24 million a year player. Now, to be fair, Washington needs pass rush and help. So did you have to overpay for him? Probably. I just can't say I love the move all that much. Leo Chenal is another guy I do like just because he brings speed to the linebacker room and something Washington desperately lack on the defensive end. And that's also something Odafe Oweh also brings is speed. Leo Chenal, he may not be the most complete player. He has his issues in tackling at times. He has his issues in coverage at times. But he's speed and he has a nose for the football and will get there. There'll be some plays he'll make a mistake and you'll be like, Leo. But there's other plays you'll watch and be like, okay, there's something here. He's really an up and down player. But overall, it's better than what Washington had last year. And also another guy I do like is Nick Cross. He's just a good, solid safety, 25 years old, still young. You get a young free agent in the room. I think he'll be a good addition to this defense who just needs young speed because this defense was really old last year. Chigga, I'm not his biggest fan. I think it's a nothing burger. I would not have paid him $9 million a year. I think it's a major overpay, but hey, you got an athletic tight end. Tim Settle, he's a fine just depth interior defensive lineman. He can start if you need him to. He's not going to blow the doors off, but he's not going to really get embarrassed. Amik Robertson, kind of the same thing. He's fine, solid, not going to get embarrassed, but not going to really impress you in either way. Caleb Von Chason, same thing, but I will say this. I did think he had a really good year for New England. Solid power rusher, can get after the quarterback, can really make some issues happen back there. Do I think he's worth $11 million? No, but same thing. They just kind of had to bring guys in to really fix this defense. And keeping Marcus Mariota, I just love that. I'm a Marcus Mariota guy. I think he's a fun quarterback and a good backup, as we saw last year when Jaden Daniels got hurt. But the big key to me are some of the guys that Washington lost. Tyler Biadasz is a tremendous center, and losing him to Los Angeles just hurts. Deebo Samuel, I don't actually mind losing him. I think that's a very good move to lose him because he showed his age last year. He was not the Deebo Samuel from San Francisco for all those years we saw. He was a slower, more immobile wide receiver, and that's just not good. And also, I just got to say it, losing Bobby Wagner is addition by subtraction. Bobby Wagner was just relying on his name alone last year. He was nowhere near the caliber of player we're used to Bobby Wagner being, and it was noticeable from start to finish. He was slow. He didn't tackle as well. I know he got all pro votes. I know people voted for him. They didn't watch him play enough. He was a miserably bad linebacker last year, and losing him is just a major boost to this Commanders defense that desperately needs it. I'm having a case of deja vu because last year when I was recording my 2025 Washington Commanders offseason, I'm having deja vu because as last year I recorded my 2025 Washington Commanders season team preview, I hated their draft. And you know what? I hate their draft this year, and it's honestly more impressive considering they drafted my number one overall player in this entire draft class, and I still hate it. Round of applause to Adam Peters and Dan Quinn. Just round of applause for that. Sonny Styles, tremendous linebacker, great traits, can come downhill, can drop back in coverage, athletic freak, very knowledgeable. He has all the potential in the world to become the best linebacker in the game of football. I fully believe that to my fullest heart content. He is that damn good. And then it drops off the steepest cliff in the world. Antonio Williams from Clemson. I did not care for his film whatsoever. He's got good size. That was it for me. To me, he was a guy I wouldn't touch until the 5th round. His speed lacked. His route running lacked. A lot of things I really like in a wide receiver lacked. And he was not a good player at Clemson. So I don't really think this is a great pick by the Commanders that, oh, you bring him in. And here's the thing. The Commanders are actively looking for a second wide receiver and possibly a third wide receiver before training camp even opens. That shows you how much faith they have in their 3rd round pick. Joshua Josephs, another guy I didn't care for. I thought he had some great measurables because he has an NBA wingspan. He's got long arms. He can separate from blockers. But outside of that, he's just going to get bullied. He doesn't have the strength at the point of attack to really hold up against offensive linemen at the NFL level. He's going to get pushed around the run game. He's going to get pushed around the pass game. He is not going to do well. Katron Allen from Penn State. Okay, I kind of like this pick. He was productive, good size, has good vision. He's got good running ability. His hips are fluid. He doesn't have the burst necessarily like, but he's a good, talented running back. So that pick, yeah. Matt Golban. Did you watch Michigan State last year? I really don't think that's a good pick at all. You can say he's got good power, good size, but you watch him, his hands are all over the place. He's not that good when you get him in movement, and he got blown off the ball quite often. Not a good pick. And then Ethan Kalamanis, the Rutgers quarterback. First of all, when has a Rutgers quarterback ever been worth anything? But also, just like, did you watch him play last year? His arm wasn't that great. He maybe was adequate arm strength, but that's where the positives end. He never really impressed at all when you watch him throwing the football. His footwork was never great, and just overall, he's not a good player. I understand you draft a guy in day 3, you're kind of thinking maybe he can be that quarterback coach in between, that guy between the starting quarterback and the offense coordinator to really call in the plays, help the quarterback understand it. And if that's the case, yeah, I fully understand it. Who was going to draft him? Like, I don't think anyone was going to draft him, especially if you watch his film. He just wasn't a good player. My season predictions for the Washington Commanders are they're 3rd place in the NFC East, and they would be 4th place in other divisions, but they share a division with the New York Giants, who, yeah, they're just not a good football team. So, hey, you got that over. You got Jaden Daniels. You still have some hope for the future. But I'm going to be completely honest. I think the only direction up for the Commanders is Dan Quinn and Adam Peters are let go. I don't trust them when it comes to team building. I don't like Dan Quinn as a head coach. I was very against them hiring him in the first place. They had a good run his first year, so I was maybe ready to eat some crow. But last year kind of reinforced everything I thought of him, that his teams regress year over year. That's what happened in Atlanta. And yeah, I think we're still just going to see this team not be up to par. Their defenses under him when he's the head coach is far worse than when he's a defensive coordinator because he doesn't focus on it as much. I truly believe Quinn's just one of those guys that's better coordinator than he is a head coach. And Adam Peters, this is 2nd year in a row. I've just hated his draft class. And I love Sonny Styles. Sonny Styles to me was like the transcendent talent you take to really rebuild your defense. And I think Washington's going to have a better defense this year, but their defense was so outright disastrous last year. Like, it was on par with the Cowboys' defense, but it just didn't get the traction because the Cowboys were just, well, first of all, the Dallas Cowboys, and second of all, they were a better offense. You could really see that the Cowboys' defense just let teams in games and lose games for the Cowboys. Washington's very similar to that, and their offense just isn't as good as the Cowboys. Like, Jaden Daniels, I don't think is as good as a quarterback as Dak Prescott. Their receivers are not as good as the Cowboys' receivers. Their tight end room is not as good as Dallas. Their offense line sure as hell isn't as good as Dallas's. And that just really boils down to the fact they're a worse version of the Dallas Cowboys, and I don't have the Cowboys make the playoffs or be anything dangerous this year. So I'm not going to have the Commanders do that either. They're so similar, it's ironic considering they are arch rivals. And I really just hope that the Commanders figure it out sooner than later. Because Jane Daniels is such a fun, talented player that I want to see him play meaningful playoff games, meaningful games in the regular season. But with the current regime in Washington, I don't think that's happening. I'd like to say thank you very much for watching this video. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. If you have any comments, go down below. Tell me your thoughts on the Washington Commanders. And if you want to check out some team previews, I've done 32 in 32 days. This is the final day of 32 team previews going up in a row. They're all up on this channel. If you want to check out any other team, they're out there. So I'd like to say thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope y'all have an amazing day.